Everyone knows Amsterdam is the bike capital of Europe. Everyone who's been to Amsterdam has a story about almost being hit by a tram. You can get a train to almost anywhere from here, and metros allow Amsterdam to grow. But buses seem to be very rarely mentioned when it comes to Amsterdam being a sustainable transport utopia. In comparison to bus services around the world, this is up there as one of the best. The buses are sleek, high-tech, and just a pleasure to ride. Perhaps I'm just passionate about the buses here because I come from a city with a very poor bus service. However, the fact that bus services are generally underrated makes this service so great. Even if this was considered an on-par bus service by the metrics of reliability, frequency and network, the fact that it can be paired with the alternative modes of transport means the demand for transport citywide is spread and increases each service's efficiency. So, why are buses seen to be inefficient? In all fairness, buses aren't the most glamorous transport mode to be talking about, especially in a city with several other systems. Perhaps it's due to the fact that buses are seen in almost every city in the world as their sole public transport system, and because of this, they almost have a poor stigma attached to them. They're never on time, they're constantly stuck in traffic, and are seen as for those who can't afford a car.
Would you mind not breathing directly into my mouth?
So, who would want to take the bus? Especially when car manufacturers promise that the automobile gives you the freedom that buses can't, all while sitting in your own stench as opposed to everyone else's.
Not really. The woman next to me is eating an egg and onion sandwich, and the smell of it is enough to turn an orange march.
This is the stereotype that is portrayed of buses in Ireland and many other places around the world. The Dutch have done a great job in making buses an attractive option for transport, and in doing this, the most important aspect to get right is giving buses priority, something which seems impossible in Irish towns and cities. It's so efficient here in the Netherlands that buses almost run on their own systems, rather than sharing the lanes with private vehicle users. Because one person's journey isn't as important as 50 people's. Here in Amsterdam, buses are treated the same as trams, just with wheels instead of tracks. The most important piece of infrastructure that prioritises buses is the bus lanes. For the most part, they're in the centre of the road and they're physically segregated from the general traffic lanes. This is a far stretch from the bus lanes I'm used to in Ireland, which are no more than another lane on the side of the road, often the hard shoulder, that become illegal parking laybys and set down areas or turn into left turn lanes when coming into a junction, which makes prioritising completely redundant. While here, the bus lanes in the centre of the road allow for a quick separate infrastructure so the buses can avoid general traffic altogether. The bus stops are also built out to serve these centre lanes, meaning passengers need to cross over to these islands, which helps reduce the speed of the road, but more specifically meaning the buses don't have to cut across lanes to reach the stops and re-emerge back into the lane of traffic. Secondly, priority lighting. The priority light isn't just a separate green and red bus symbol like many bus priority light designs, but they have an entirely different system to that of a regular traffic light, similar to that used for trains or tram systems. This allows for more exclusionary use of these lights, as if there's a bit of ambiguity to them, which is part of a local bus driver's training, meaning this system is just for buses, so that they don't have a private vehicle user seeing green and assuming they can go. The traffic light system in Amsterdam is very intelligent. Accurate real-time data is used for these lights when a bus or tram is approaching. As you can see, the traffic lights begin to change to give the bus priority, even before it gets to the junction. Thirdly, bus infrastructure like bus gates mean that travel times can be a lot shorter than private vehicles. When I was researching for this video, I wanted to try travel by bus on a route that I wouldn't have thought is in high demand. This was mostly out of boredom, but also out of curiosity and adventure. At the bus station, adventure was calling out to me, so I hopped on the bus and began to relish in its luxury. watching as the bus took bus lane upon bus lane to get out of the southeasterly suburb. As we got to the main road, which connects through southern towns and villages of outer ring Amsterdam, I saw the line of traffic I knew we would be joining up ahead, and began to regret my spontaneity. Thoughts entered and exited my mind at a speed with which I wish we were moving at. Why did I do this to myself? I don't even need to get this bus. Do I even know where I'm going? What if I can't get back? While this was all happening, I noticed the bus didn't slow down and crawl to an inevitable halt. Instead, we bypassed all of this traffic on our own adjacent bus-only road. This bus gate and bus-only road allowed us to gain some time on those using the private vehicle lanes. These gates are also very strategically placed, meaning it is easy for buses to take them, yet private vehicles can't. Not necessarily needing physical gates like barriers or ditches, but something that lines up with the curve of a bus lane, while being an awkward corner for general traffic to take, using the speed of those in the general traffic lane against them. Taking the buses here in Amsterdam is a pleasure. It's nothing like the bus journeys at home. The bus system is helped by the fact that there are great alternatives. While everyone is cycling or taking the train, and those who need to are driving, the bus service is constantly improved to provide more priority and not just forgotten about and underfunded like bus services in many other countries, if there was a more flashy transport option available. In Amsterdam, people don't say, "I've got to take the train. I'll get the tram. I'm going home by bus." They say, "I use public transport," because every journey is possible through intermodal use. The fact that there is modal competition means public transport becomes better. Integration is what allows this to work here. At every train station, you can take a local metro. At every metro station, there's a bus or tram stop. In Amsterdam, each mode has a purpose. Metros across city make the city feel small. Trams are built on spines into the city centre, connecting parts of the city. But buses are the adhesive that makes intermodal journeys possible.